Hello, thanks for joining us today on the Seasoned Rider. It's kind of confession time. There is some maintenance that I've accidentally overlooked on this motorcycle because I knew there was a problem, but I got stuck in some kind of pretzel logic with all sorts of solutions up to and including buying a new motorcycle. And I finally realized that in life, most problems could be solved by adding wrenches. But first, some tangents. There's a Facebook group I had been following, and it was geared toward senior motorcycle riders. And it appealed to me because, but I'm afraid it devolved. It mostly became an argument about electric vehicles, electric motorcycles in particular. And I think the overriding consensus was you can have my Harley Davidson when you can pry it from my cold, dead fingers. Now, I'm afraid that triggered an emotional reaction. Certainly for me, I'm sure for a lot of other riders. That is the antithesis of riding motorcycles. What it triggered was boredom. But there were some interesting posts. And one of them was the question, what can a senior rider do to be safer going into the future as the years move on? What can we do to make our environment safer? And there's a lot of great answers to that. It's continue educating yourself, practicing riding skills. One of them that I immediately agreed with was ride a motorcycle with ABS. Now, I had a motorcycle with ABS. I had a Yamaha FJR 1300. I rode that bike all the way up and down the East Coast, and I rode it cross country. I mean, not quite. If I spent another day, I could have been at the Santa Monica Pier. Wasn't really the goal, but I love that motorcycle, and I love the fact that it had ABS. Now, I never triggered the ABS on that bike, and I rode it for almost 30,000 miles. Never once did they, that kind of ABS lockup shutter, and which is good. But I'd like a motorcycle with ABS. And when I was talking about I almost bought another motorcycle, I started thinking about that, and that's when I discovered the Honda CB1100 DX, which is a 2014 motorcycle, not available in the US. Naturally, I got to pick a hard one. And the 2013 was. And that motorcycle is modern, even though it's actually 10 years old now. But it has, I think it has hydraulic adjustable, self-adjusting valves. It has a 6-speed transmission. And it has ABS. And it's cool. It is a cool, retro-looking bike. So I want one. I still want one. And the more I thought about that, and ABS, and I sold my FJR some years ago, and I've been riding this, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought, boy, these brakes, they are lame. They are like underperforming. This technology is not doing it for me anymore. I'd be playing with the front brakes, and there's just not a lot happening. It's great if you grab a handful, but I usually want 2-finger, boom, you want some immediate reaction. And so I ride this home the other day, and I'm still thinking about the brake situation on this, and I go, wait a second. I just did these brakes not too long ago. These are new EBC drilled rotors. These are Spiegler steel braided brake lines. These have new green pad brake pads on this. This is a dual piston, dual caliber braking system with modern fluid in it, changed. And same on the rear. The rear has I put a drilled rotor on the rear brake, also steel braided brake lines. Like, this brake system has been upgraded. And I thought, wait a second, this, rewound the tape a little bit, like all the years I've been riding this. I go, wait a second, there's something wrong. That's what this is. But I thought about how great ABS is and my FJR and everything, and in my mind, this was just getting worse and worse. But it wasn't in my mind. This was getting worse and worse. So I pulled in the garage and I looked at it, and not that I was sporting it up. This is just regular touch the brakes down the intersection, pull in here, and I get off and I touch this rotor. It's like it is right now. It's cold steel. And this rotor, it's not hot. It wouldn't have been hot, but it's warm. It is warm to the touch. This brake is not working. I will be riding this motorcycle in the White Mountains next week. So having both front brakes work seems really beneficial. That seems like a good thing to have. So I think I'm going to just try to bleed them. Just bleed this this one caliper here, and see if that helps. Which way does this go? Righty tighty. Oh, okay. I'm trying to remember. Like, it was a while ago that I did this. And I'm thinking, I wonder if I've been riding around with this brake not good for a while. Well, there's fluid coming out. Seems solid, no bubbles. All right, not a lot happening there. Bleeding the brakes, and God, it almost looks like this master cylinder is awfully low. So I'm going to pull the cap on that. Take a look. Protective kind of barrier around here because the brake fluid's so caustic. Like, if it touches this paint, it'll damage it right away. And I have some latex gloves here that I will also put on. But let me just pull that cap, take a look here, see what's happening. There we go. Okay, well, it's not low or anything. I can feel this caliper working. So the whole point of the brake bleed here is to move trapped air, and there's no air bubbles coming out of that. Out of that left side caliper. Okay, I emptied the reservoir with a syringe, but I did not suck it out of the lines, this center part. So, don't spill any. Here we go. Okay, good. And then cap it right away. The cap should be on this too, but this, it's not a screw cap. It's not as easy to just stick this on there real quick and take it off. So, all right, let's bleed the right side for a minute. All right, well, I changed out the fluid actually. I swapped it out. And the only way to know if I've had any impact here is to take it for a ride. So, hopefully they're no better. That way I can justify getting a motorcycle, a new motorcycle. Problem solved. Front brakes are great. The rears are spongy. I'm going to do them real quick. So it needed a fluid change. Didn't really need a bleed. It just needed a fluid change. It was dirty. I guess I'll have to check, see how long ago it was that I changed that fluid, but it hasn't been used hard or anything. But okay, problem solved. And they're both equally warm to the touch. All right, I also need to change up the fluid on the rear. And let me show you something here. This cap is kind of a pain in the butt to get out. Touches the frame here. So, just make our lives a little bit easier. Just slide it out here so we have a little room. Just undo the nut. I'm going to store it right there for a second. And then I'm going to drain that. Also, bleed it. Because the front is no longer spongy. And I did these brakes at the same time. So, you know, this is looking a little brownish too. So I'll change that up. It'll take about a minute. Hey, it's Chris from The Seasoned Writer. Hope you're enjoying the video. This would be a good time to remind you to hit subscribe and like, only if you like it. All right, have a great day. There we go. And a couple bubbles came out there. When you spend the day on a boomer bike in the twisties behind a capable rider on a capable Ducati, you need all of your brakes to work, all of them, not just 2 out of 3, all of them.